There we go. Okay, that's better. Now I'm audible. Okay. So, let me get my chat monitor up here. I'm in a little bit of an awkward position, just how things are surrounding me. Okay. There we are. Okay. So, gonna start with a quick overhead view of my island. So welcome to my Tomodachi Life Island. And you might be wondering, why is it so glowy? And there's a lot of glowy spaces, so like, I get it. The idea is that this island, only a small portion of it, is the island itself. And basically, anywhere where you see those glowing edges, those are seams where other worlds have kind of been thrust upon this island. So I've named my island Cannon Cross because it was the crossing of cannons, the crossover of cannons. Some of these areas you'll notice have like a distinct color to them. Some of them do not. The ones that do not are just using my channel blue. The ones that do, there's a variety of circumstances. So let's jump down and take a look at Cannon Cross Island. So off the bat, I'm going to start over here. So this section, you'll notice, has an interesting shade of red glowing here. This is specifically the original shade of red that I used for this channel. And you might be wondering, why would you bring that in? That's such an odd choice. That is because I am referencing a character who originated at that time, who I have kind of continued to associate with that color palette, even though that color palette is no longer in use. I heavily associate this character with that color palette for now, and I at one point thought, I'll bring it back and I'll use the inverse of my current channel colors. But I'm like, I don't know, I feel like the original ones are like his thing. So that is Birch Dirch. And I will also, before I get too far into this, there is no real world person one-to-one represented here. Every single character here is a character. Some of them are inspired by real people or were, portrayed in some cases by real people that I know. But there are no true real people. So Birch Dirch was like Halloween 2016. It was the character I came up with that was the like demon possessed fedora neckbeard version of myself. And he is somewhere on this island currently wearing a trilby. Where is he? Ah, there he is. Look at him. Look at that little guy.
Let's play coin spin.
Oh, he wants to play a game. Let's play a game with him. Let's do a quick little coin spin here.
What do you think of...
I have gotten this wrong every time. Glenn, would you like to suggest a heads or tails?
Tails.
Okay, that's what Mike suggested, and I got heads today. So
Tails? Huh? Well,
let's
see if you're right.
The last time you asked me, I chose heads,
Oh,
and it came
yeah.
up tails, so I was like, oh, I'll do tails.
I am literally 0 for like 5 on this. I have never won this coin flip.
Game's rigged.
Hey,
Alright. Tissues. Thanks, dude. Guess it's better than toilet paper.
So you can go cry about it.
Oh, something's happening with him. Looking at a tree.
ouch.
He got hit in... Was that a train? I think he got hit in the head with a model train or something. Okay. So yeah, that's what this little red section is. It's the DurchBurch zone. This custom lava that I made. This here is like the hot lava. I could have added like a transitional set, but I didn't really feel like it. I just kind of wanted to like put it in. So that's a Pokeball. Unless you get fully up there, it doesn't quite finish the texture. Like the low res texture and low poly model don't quite show the line, but it's fine. Oh, he's running all the way home. Running. Oh, and he fell over. And he's running home. Wow, it took him a while, but I guess he was pretty far. So, I guess I'll just show what he's immediately connected to. So I'll start here. This is Topepo's house. If you have seen my shitpost playlist, you will see that there's a couple instances of Topepo from, I want to say 2017. And then like never again. Topepo was a character that I drew just like on a whim. I just doodled him and then I sprited him at I think I did him at 128 by 128 and I was not equipped to handle a character that simple at that scale. He did not turn out particularly great as far as the sprite went, but I really liked the character. He does not quite look accurate in this. Let's go find him. There he is. So his nose is normally like the size of his head, pretty much.
Oh, retirement.
Okay, alright, dude. But I think he's pretty cute. I gave him like the Mario nose. But actually, in this, I do have Topepo non-binary. So Topepo actually is using they them pronouns.
I can't think of anything.
So this is not boy Topepo. This is non-binary Topepo. Topepo is also one of the only children on the island. Specifically, just by age. So there are a few characters that I really just like love, and I have based their ages on like dates that I post certain things. So Topepo is as old as my DeviantArt post of the Topepo sprite,
Feel like I heard Ellison's
which I
voice
know
just
I
now.
put in there right when I made it. So I know that was the day I made this sprite. It's not the day I drew Topepo. But so they're like a child, you know, because they were from 2017. So they are like 9, I think. But Topepo is a little potato, so Topepo's yard is just a big farm, and all the Miis will gather around these sprinklers and just live it up. Oh, he wants to go see Banana Man. I'll get to Banana Man later, but we're gonna let him run over and introduce himself because they don't know each other yet.
I am known as DurchBurch. Might I ask your name?
DurchBurch. Hi there. I'm Banana Man. Ooh.
Beautiful. Now they know each other.
Fighting?
Alright, I'm just gonna let this pop through.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Dabble?
Alright. So, that's kind of as far as this goes this way. This section here, like this is the island itself, so there's nothing connected there. So let's go the other way. So here we have some characters that are original to this. So this here, if you can't read, is Ixelthorgu. And this is clearly Jonathan, a very normal and regular human being. neither of them are home right now. So let's see if I can find one or both of them. The island's gotten much bigger over time, so it's getting tougher and tougher to find where people are. Oh, I found Jonathan. So yeah. Perfectly normal human.
Good evening, DurchBurch.
Very good at saying words. There is nothing odd here about this perfectly normal human. His ears are in the correct place. He has a good head of hair. He has eyebrows above his eyes that are definitely not painted on. His nose is definitely not a poorly assembled prosthesis. And his mouth is perfectly normal and human. It has lips. I mean, that's a human. Let's give him some head pats. I don't know if I've pet him yet today. I did. Okay.
Aerobic, anyone.
And he sounds like a normal human, too. If I set him somewhere, we can see... Oh, whoops. Didn't want to go inside. We can see that he walks like a normal human.
Okay.
You know, swinging his arms, swinging his legs. Perfectly normal human things to do. So let's go see if we can find Ixelthorgu. I don't know where Ixelthorgu is. Oh, at the restaurant. So Ixelthorgu is the big reveal. They're aliens. Jonathan is trying to blend in more. Ixelthorgu, they don't mind. Both of the characters are technically defined as non-binary. Jonathan uses he, him pronouns because the reason they're set as non-binary is more so that they don't really meet human like sex. They're you know, a much broader spectrum of sex. Not that humans are that narrow, but it's very common. There's a wide array of ways that their race that is unnamed can show their different sort of like genetic phenotypes. So Ixelthorgu uses they them pronouns and is fully accepting and embracing of not being a human. Ixelthorgu does not try to deepen their voice and sound a little more human. Like they're just embracing being a little gray alien, and I think that's great for them. So also I will note these symbols all do have a pronunciation. So this triangle, that is Ix, the diamond is Ul, and so Ul will only ever follow another thing. Like it's connected. So Ixel would be connected. The overarching connector is Thor. That little like T looking thing is Gi, and then that weird like cup is U. So Ixel, Thor, Yu. Kind of did that backwards for your perspective, but whatever. So my plan is that over time I can introduce some like lingo where Ixelthorgu can use other words from their language, and I can have consistent pronunciations for each of these symbols as that goes. I made a dictionary for my characters in this game, and my creations in this game, so that I can consistently like have their pronunciations work. So that's a fun little aspect. But anyways, they connect. You can see there's a different color. This is a less saturated blue. This area is my fake one product that is based on the college that I went to. This area is one of my proudest ones design-wise. You can see I've got like some Pokemon style tall grass, Got little like paths leading to the houses, very Pokemon. And then the path here is brick, which is a type of path that I specifically made for our game so that we can utilize it and have that look all nice and consistent with our college. But yeah, we got little Pokeball items in this area where it's like, oh, you can pick up the item. Don't mind the wibbly textures. It's like a little awkward how it's UV mapped, but such is UV mapping a sphere. They decided to UV map the sphere with circles. Really tough for me. But I made it work. Made a Pokeball that I think looks sufficient. But so here we've got it always puts a little like apostrophe s. I said that it's plural. It didn't just do an apostrophe, but so this is where the player characters live. So in there right now is Allison. The other character there is actually one of the rivals, not the other player character. The other player character, I saw him a little earlier up here. Aha. Wait, are they just staring at each other? They're staring at each other. That's very funny. So yeah, this is Albert. His hat is a direct recreation of the hat from the game, as is the hat that Allison is wearing over here. At some point, I do want to make their like shirts. I don't have those made yet, but those are like a fun aspect of their design that I definitely want to make sure to include. The other character in there is somewhat of a loose design, kind of a bit of a placeholder for Byron, one of the rivals. The other rival is Camilla. Both of them are currently, we don't have like a final design for them, so they're kind of more inspired by the actual people. So they're not like as uniquely designed yet, but once we do the final designs, I'm going to adjust their Miis to look more like them. But then right here is the first character I ever added to this island, Professor Twig, who is the second iteration of myself that lives here. Technically the first. Professor Twig is probably somewhere about... you'll probably recognize him a little bit if you've seen a lot of my recent Nuzlocks. I've used my artwork of Professor Twig that was by Bromo Jumbo, and that is like something that I put somewhere in the thumbnails. Sometimes just in the first one, sometimes more consistently. Let me see. Oh, he's got to be somewhere. There's no way he has disappeared. He's on one of these sections of the island. Oh, there he is. He just walked into the restaurant. There he is. So, you can see he's kind of based on me, but he currently, like, his hair is much longer than mine currently is. His beard is much more wild and untamed. He's got this huge grin. He's currently fawning over his bug collection. At some point, he's going to actually have his signature Pokemon that follows him. So that's really exciting for me when I can get a chance to do that. I have to technically do a little bit of touch-ups on that sprite first. So I'm procrastinating a little by doing other characters, which I will showcase some of that as we go. So yeah, that's everyone in this little Fakemon corner. So I'm going to jump off over to here, which is actually, this is the second newest area of the island. So this is currently just in this color. If I ever define more, I will bring that in. But this section, if you ever saw any of my mentions of a game called Emotion Commotion, the little guy who's right here to my side, that is Rizio. there are in the build of the game that I made for my senior project when I was in college. There were 4 characters. There's Rizio, Tristitia, Furia, and Dormio, which were basically they're meant to be like these aspects of emotions. So Rizio is the aspect of happiness. Tristitia is the aspect of sadness. Furia is anger, and Dormio is exhaustion. So that's them. And then off in this little corner, I actually just recently added 2 more from their world, which are a Nullus, which is the sort of base fodder enemy that I had in game. I could have made a square drawing and used that on the face, but I chose not to, just because I kind of don't like how those like big flat square faces look. There's some people who do those. I don't. And then Crudelis, who is a boss that I never got to implement in the game, but I did make the sprites for and did animate. So Crudelis is actually sitting right here, staring at a tree. Technically, he would have 2 more spikes on the back of his head, but it's fine. Here's Rizio right now, just walking around. Somewhere on the found Tristitia. Oh, she's drawing a box of tissues. Oh, that's okay.
I can't draw everything, but apparently I can draw a box of tissues.
That's good. See, that's a little confidence. She doesn't have a lot of that. She's typically just sad. So, good job, Tristitia. I'm proud of your box of tissues drawing, and it's gone. And she's back to being sad. Okay. Where's Furia at? She tends to be somewhere in this corner. I feel like she's always up here. But I don't see her up here today. Furia, where are you at? I don't think she's visiting someone, because she doesn't know a lot of people on the island as well. She's a bit newer. I made her yesterday. Also, I will note, all of these characters, their birthday is the day I drew them. I was able to go back in like message history to when I first sent the photo I took of them and said, I think I'm going to use these for the characters in my comp, which is my senior project. So I did actually get the exact... Oh, there she is. She's bored. Look at her. little demon. Let's see, yeah, she's hanging out just down here, I guess. And then this one I think came out the best of this batch. This is Dormio, as he looks here. I love how they do the like slight fade between the mouth and the painted texture. So like his drool just looks like it comes out of his mouth. It's really satisfying. So yeah, that's them in this little corner. So that's everybody here and here. So let's go this away until we reach the next set. So this set here, there are 2 characters. This is Flupso Flup, who has not appeared on this channel directly, but the tales of Flupso probably have. But also, Flupso's cousin Fluppant did show up in Board Brains at one point. She is not on this island, just Flupso is. Sarah is visiting Flupso. Why are you visiting him? Okay, just to chase him, I guess. So Flupso is a horrible character. There's so many things about him that is awful. He was my first tabletop character that I ever made. He was described as outwardly depressing And I forget exactly how weak he was, but it was something like he couldn't lift more than like 22 pounds or something. He was obsessed in a sexual way with toasters with crayons in them. And then he only wore these hideous sweaters that were garish and had those on them because he'd commissioned them because he's rich. But he doesn't live like it. He doesn't really do much with the money except for get sweaters of toasters full of crayons. So, horrible person, very funny character to play. He eventually died because he was a horrible person and got killed by the first time someone chose to confront him. And that led to my second character, Bonor Kirtrain. So there, basically, Flupso was killed by these aliens that came down, and he insulted their like war chief, and he picked up Flupso like by the neck and just threw him through a wall, which led to instant death scenario. Like he wasn't dead, but he was instantly dying per game rules. I replaced him with one of those aliens, but one that had defected because he didn't want to be a warrior, and that was Bonor Kirtrain. Bonor, his name is a joke. Like it's obviously it's a joke. The obvious joke is obvious. Bonor is loosely inspired by the Prone, and his races in general loosely inspired by the Prone from Xenoblade Chronicles X. So he's this huge hulking Goliath of a character with this like huge, just perpetually open mouth. Which I'd actually never had a chance to fully design until this game, because I had like this loose image of what he was in my head, but I'd never been able to show it beyond to communicate how I thought he looked. So this is Bonor. Those are not extra eyes. Like those are, he has like nostrils immediately like below his eyes, and then those dots above. I don't really know what they are. Maybe additional nostrils. In game, they are his eyebrows, but I don't know exactly what they are within canon. I just thought they looked neat. So yeah, he's got this like huge, perpetually open mouth. His skin is this kind of orangish tone. It's not like super otherworldly or anything, but it's this kind of desaturated orange that he's got going on. He is really staring at Albert, and it's funny because they'll do this forever, because normally only one character is staring at one, and if the other character goes too far away or goes and does something, the one will stop staring. But they're staring at each other and have been. So I think they're just soft locked, and I think that's so much more entertaining than actually interacting with them. So I'll leave them soft locked. But yeah, so this was in like a little town, or not a town, it was a city. So this area, like you've got like a sidewalk, got another sidewalk. This is a road, and then you can see there's like street lamps and stuff, houses, these little garden spaces. These flowers are kind of dying. Kind of a nod to Flupso and his power. But they are immediately connected to a product I've been working on a lot. So this here, it's pinker than it is. It's mostly just because it's a desaturated red that's got a little bit of purple. And when you make it glow, it gets brighter and less saturated. So it's actually become this pink. But this is the Monster Tamer real-time strategy concept that I've had cooking in my head, and there are a bunch of characters from it. The one who just exited his house is sort of he's not the main antagonist, but he's the secondary antagonist. This is Emperor Boggart Barathrum. I forget, I think is Boggart Tartarus Barathrum, I think is his full
I
name.
should get a metal detector.
He is massive. He is quite literally like, so he's based on the idea of like the political strongman,
Candy corn.
like a strongman dictator sort of character, but he is that strong because the thing is that the strongman is like this built up persona. No one is actually that strong, but they make themselves look impressive. But the thing with Boggart is that he is that impressive, which is a problem. And also you can see he's got his pet here. This is a Google, which is a collection of spirits of monsters that have all coalesced into one monster. Very fitting for him. He is the emperor of the death affiliated group. Specifically that type in game is Mortem, and he is affiliated with that. So yeah, Barathrum, he is the leader of the nation of Barathria, and he is the type that if he was to go and be like, we have opened a new mine, and you know, walk out and show off the mine to the masses and be like, look at this place, it will fuel our empire for many a year, and then everyone's like, oh, that's great. But the thing that's with him is that there's some people who that's going to be genuine because he is equally respected as he is feared. Because he will straight up be like, if you disappoint me, I will kill you. Like, he will put you to death
Scary as
over
always.
very minor things, but his standards are insane, and that's what makes him so scary. Like, he'll go to the mine and be like, I expect you to do this much work, and the men at the mine will be like, I can't do that much work. It's not, there's not enough of us. And then he will have done more than that on his own, and he'll be like, if I can do this, so can you. Like, he's got like a little bit of that,
so
like
silly.
that dad energy of like, you don't know how to do this? Oh, like, even though it's like they've had like, 30, 40 years to figure it out by the time that you, a child, are trying to learn it. But he's like that with adults. Like, he's better than you, and he will show you and insult you for it. But then he will go, if you can't do nearly this well, all of you will be put to death. And that will be the end of you. Like, he is terrifying because of that. And that goes for all things. Like, literally, he is talented at everything. There's one character who is more intelligent than him in the game. And that character is the main antagonist, who is not home right now, but who lives right here, Professor Epistus. And he did not always look this way on this island, and he did not always look this way in life. Epistus has some problems, as you can see. He is effectively a dead man walking, and he was on one of the first exploratory groups to go to the, I currently haven't named it, but like a new world that is where the monsters are from. And Epistus and his expedition group, they all nearly die. Well, most of them die, except for him. He lives. And the only reason he survives is because while he is dying, he is begging to every deity, not that he himself is religious, but to every deity that he knows of, and he knows of many. He is begging for one of them to save him from the inevitable death that he is about to stumble across. And in that moment, a passing monster that feeds on the life force of dying creatures finds him. And that creature is named Tethamore. And Tethamore goes, I can keep you alive, but I'm going to need you to bring more like you. Because the monsters here tear them apart, and they tear the monsters apart. So that's a lot of death, and I want that. And like Tethamore kind of has like this psychic connection that it forms as it binds itself to things. So the professor becomes bound to Tethermore, and then he travels to all of the different nations of the land, and basically snake oil salesman, and says like, oh, I was at this wonderful place. It's this fantastical land. There's these huge monsters that are so fascinating and cool, and also you're going to want to get there fast because everyone else is going to get there and they're going to use them as weapons. And what are you going to do when you don't have walls made of truss wall? When you don't have Rastal to wrangle your enemies to submission? Like, he kind of goes around and says, like, you need to do this. This is an arms race. It's not just to learn. It's an arms race, and you are going to lose it if you don't go to this land. And then he does that, and basically throughout the game he would continue to get more and more corrupted by Tethermore. And this is almost to the limits I can do in this game to kind of convey that. I have this crazy Hero Forge figure where he's got like swirling energy just completely engulfing his body, and his hair has gone from just like normally flared out to like these huge, like almost horn-like flowing like hair structures. His beard has grown like pointier and longer. There's purple accents everywhere. His eyes are glowing red like this. Really cool. It's one of the coolest things I've ever made in Hero Forge. And so he is from a land associated with the Mentum monsters, which are you could kind of look at them as like psychic types, but he becomes aligned with the Death Nation because Tethermore goes, these guys like to kill things, so you're sticking with them, and so he basically becomes their captive. But very cool character. He was the second character on this island. It was the original characters were Professor Twig, Professor Epistus, and Flupso. So very cool character. His nation is a nation of scholars. They're really cool. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on all of them, like all of the nations, because if I ever have a chance to fully make this game, like that is where you will find out all of those details. So this house is for a character named Sarah. She uses she, they pronouns in this game. She uses they, them pronouns primarily because you only have the option to pick one. I wish you could pick both and it would just like flip 50-50 between, but I don't think that the system that they're co-opting for the pronoun system in this game quite was able to handle that. Sarah also goes by Cersei. Oh. You know what? He would do this. He would actually say this. He would be like, my monster is the best, actually. And here's why. And the thing is, he'd probably have a really good argument that's really convincing because he's a smart guy. But the area they're standing in right now is inspired by the nation associated with the Typicus monsters, which is kind of normal type, you know, very basic things. And that is Nathaniel here. This was Prince Nathaniel Rasimus Nyala. Nathaniel is kind of a rebel prince. Like, he doesn't really enjoy being prim and proper and princely and, you know, doing the things he's expected to do as royalty. So when his parents tell him, you know, the king and queen, they're like, hey, you're going to this new world. He's super excited because they're kind of doing it to get rid of him and not have to deal with him as much by sending him like halfway around the world. And but he's like, that's awesome. I don't have to try at all to be a prince anymore. I can just go and you know, tame these wild monsters in this untamed land. That's what he's all for. So Nathaniel is one of the earlier characters that I added here as well. You can see very bland attire, but such is a man of Nyla. And then here is Balara, who is in game right now, Nathaniel's love interest, and probably will be. They're not, like, they just kind of fell for each other in game, and I was like, yeah, I'll let them do that. But probably, if I make the game, like, this would be, this would be their pairing. Balara is from the nation that is most closely affiliated with the Virtus monsters, which you can kind of see like fighting types. Like they're oh my god, she had him out. Girl, you better take him out for a walk. You better be taking him for a walk. Balara is from a nation that's kind of heavily inspired by like the Spartans and the Romans in some aspects, like very Mediterranean influence. The Sertami people, you know, are all like olive-skinned, dark hair, very proud warriors. And so she actually has a Rastal with her. But she's waiting for someone to show up, probably to show them Rastal, if I had to guess. I don't know who's coming, but someone will be. It could be Sarah, because they're like walking towards Balara. Are you going to hang out? You're not turning. Okay. Who is headed this way? I see a few characters who could be. Hard to tell. But yeah, and then over here we have Marshall, who he's somewhere. You see a head that looks like a surfer dude. That's the one I'm looking for. Because he's basically a surfer dude. Marshall is associated... He's not at someone's house. Marshall, where are you? You at the restaurant? He's probably at the restaurant. Yeah, there he is. So, Marshall is... basically... his full name is Marshall Pulsane. He is the Vibe Lord of the Seas, the very young leader of my currently unnamed nation that's affiliated with the Aqua Monsters. Basically, they're very chill. They're like, he came because that's the way the waves took him, man. Like he's just very chill. He's also basically brain dead. He is not an intelligent guy. He's just a very chill guy. So Marshall, like, he lives on this little sandy island here. Because he lives on an island normally. And then if you go across the sea here, you get to the New World, which is a very small plot of land where a homunculine lives. Homunculine being my April Fool's joke monster that I made. And currently I am just in need of... Here's homunculine. I'm just in need of a black bodysuit. I have a green bodysuit, but I need a black bodysuit for homunculine to really be as they should be. But yeah, this is the little section of New World. I'm gonna jump down to here real quick just because this is down here. So this is Yulia. Yulia was another tabletop character that I had in the second tabletop campaign I was a part of. Yulia is basically, you're gonna quickly learn. Oh wait, Flagella's out. Cersei's got her flagellum. Look at it. it's been really fun making these and putting them in. I'm hoping Flatdrup's gonna say something, because they do have sounds that they make. The Rastal's out. I don't think Rastal can bite you. Rastal can punch you. Oh, that sound there, that was Flagellum, that little squeaky sound. You weren't able to hear Rastal there, but Rastal makes kind of like this like clacky, clicky sound that is technically the text erg ow, but you would never guess, just the way it sounds in game. But anyways, Yulia was in a game, I can't remember what the name of the game is, and I always forget. It was like maybe Night Witches. So it basically was a game that took place in Soviet Russia during World War II. And you were these Russian female fighter pilots. It was a real group, and all the characters were within that. And so my fighter pilot was named Yulia, and Yulia was basically a blood witch. So she was a character class, I think it was called like the Raven. And the Raven had these things like, oh, you could heal all of your harm in one of your tracks of harm by taking one harm in another. And you had social, mental, and physical harm. So what she would do is she would take a lot of physical harm during missions. She would fight super aggressively in her plane. And then she would be on the verge of death. When we get back, she'd go to the hospital. And she would go to someone who was dying. And she would drink their blood. And I'd always say, the nurse can see me. Not a fan. I would take one social harm, and then I would heal all of my harm to my body. So she would just drink the blood of some dying person in the hospital in front of one of the nurses who'd be too scared to say or do anything. And then they would just watch as this like woman who hobbled in with like a broken leg and an arm and a sling just like sucks the like blood out of some dying person's arm or something, sets it down, and then just like stretches her arm and like takes the sling off and like, you know, tests her leg and makes sure it's good and she's fully healed. And that was completely doable within the mechanics of the game. It just, you know, kind of relied on the GM being willing to allow that in the game. I'm a little thankful that my GM was completely willing to allow me to make this ridiculous character who kind of went against some of the core theming of the game. But Yulia is my little Russian blood witch character, and I always had this image for how I wanted her to go out, like this kind of vision for her death scenario, which would be basically, so throughout the game I would kind of talk about how she would have this like uncanny glint in her eyes, that it was kind of suggested that she ate her daughter's corpse at a time when her family was starving and homeless, and that is what resulted in these powers that she has now. And basically the idea was that she would fully shed her humanity, because throughout the game I would mention that like, oh, she kind of like rolls her shoulders to intimidate someone, but her shoulders like kind of go a little further than should be humanly possible, like almost as if the bones have fully dislocated themselves and then like returned. And so like I would use that to kind of add some intimidation factor to certain circumstances and stuff. And the idea was that what would happen is she would get shot down into, like, in Nazi airspace and, like, land at one of their bases, and then basically single-handedly kill everyone there in a really cool, like, cinematic sequence where basically she would land and she'd be on the verge of death, and what she would do is I would, like, allow her to take some form of, like, mental harm or social harm in the fact that she's terrifying these these enemy soldiers, and now they're all turning their guns on her, and she's in some way upset by all this, so she's healed, and then they're shooting her, and then she's doing something to heal, and, like, basically just continually being pelted with bullets and healing, and would at a point just in pure rage, like, basically break every bone in her body, which would then free her muscles to control her flesh as she needs them to. So she would basically just be, like, whipping people with these, like, whip-like arms, and just, like, grabbing people and, like, throwing them, like, with no concern, because her muscles are stronger than her bones and she doesn't need the bones now anyways. And then eventually she would die in that sequence, but it was a whole thing planned out. Never got to do it because I think we actually didn't die. I think the campaign went and we succeeded in our mission. So, yeah, that was Yulia. Also, yes. Oh, he's making his germ. This is the germ of evil. Which I'll talk about more later.
This really captures the dreadful nature of that germ of evil.
That's true. Lloyd, you are the one who liked having a germ of evil given to you. I effectively gave him a job, which is keep an eye on that thing. So anyways, let's go up to here. So this is the next tabletop section. So this is specifically actual Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my god, they broke their soft lock. So here we have Zephaniah Stinkpot, who was the first D&D character I ever actually played, because I didn't play D&D till a few years ago on a family camping trip where we did a one-shot together, and I loved this character very much. He was very fun to play. He's a turtle named Zephaniah Stinkpot, and he's real slow moving. But he also has an insane strength stat. And
Importance of friends? Oh, the importance of friends?
okay, Zephaniah. So he also went by Zephan for short. And he was part of a lot of the turtles are kind of in D&D are more like deserty. But I pictured him living kind of in like a swampy area. We kind of said that it's somewhere kind of near Fogwatch is where his group of turtles is from. And he's from the Stinkpot family, which, like Stinkpot turtles, like Stinkpot turtles are smelly. So Zephan's family runs the Stinkpot Sniffing Whiff. Come on over and you can get a sniff and maybe a whiff. And they would just be these items that you can literally smell. And we never figured out what they did, I don't think. I don't think my brother ended up using them, like the actual sniffs and whiffs, as items in his campaign that he was running. But basically, the way these turtles are kind of thought of, I came up with as a whole like religion that they follow, that follows the soul storm, and that basically every turtle is born with an innate moral code, and that by following that moral code you calm the storm that is raging within your own soul, and as you calm it you slow down but you grow stronger, and the end result is if you reach the turtle version of enlightenment, you basically become immortal, but you will never move again. And you basically are perpetually like in a meditative state where if you could peer into their soul, they're living, basically your soul storm is like a raging hurricane, and you yourself are on an island at the center. So basically, once they reach this like state of enlightenment, these turtles would be inside on that beautiful island with clear sunny skies for eternity. So it's basically their version of like enlightenment and heaven. And then I came up with, what if I had a reverse character? Because Zephaniah, he was awesome. He was super slow. He's kind of inspired by like how in My Hero Academia, when like Deku would do things and it would be like really slow, and then you'd see like him just barely touch something and go blasting off. That was Zephaniah. So I went, what if I had a character who was the opposite of that? What if I had someone who did such abhorrent things that went so against his body's wishes? What would that look like? So that was Barrack. I don't know where Barrack's at right now. He's got a mohawk. Oh, there he is. Got him. So this is Barrack Snapshell. He is a snapping turtle. And Barrack looks at the Soul Storm as a source of potential power. He's like, all turtles have this, and we are not utilizing the powers that we have innately within us because we're too focused on being good to each other, to the world. And his kind of motto is, why be good when you can be great? And that's his whole personality is built around that idea. So Barrack basically does horrible, atrocious things. He is an assassin by trade. And specifically, if someone pays him to kill one person, he will kill that person. Plus, like, 9 more. Like, he will kill 10 people for the price of 1. They will be all completely unrelated people. So the benefit of that is no one will know who you were after, like, who you paid him to kill. No one knows. He killed 10 people. And it's instantaneous. Because by living this atrocious way, he has set up a raging soul storm that is much faster and more furious than every other soul storm. It's actually so strong that you can see it in his eyes. You can see that every so often, like a little like lightning flash will appear in the back of his eyes, like in the black of his pupils. You'll see a flash of lightning, and that it'll like light up the seams in his scales. You'll see this like flash underneath the skin, and it's tearing him apart. And it's shortening his lifespan. But the power it gives him, he's like, I'm going to seek immortality through infamy, basically. And so what he can do, conceptually, he would basically have to be a boss if you were to fight him in game, because he's ridiculous, is when he goes and he's paid to, take someone out as an assassin, do his job, he like basically fuels himself up with the power of his soul storm and then just bursts like lightning and will in that instant be moving like near the speed of light, faster than sound, and he'll just run by with his knife and just like slash the throats of 10 people, immediately stop back where he was, and he will just sit there and like be in like the most severe pain in the world as his body is tearing itself apart to do this. He has like scars running down his legs, and anywhere that he's moving a lot during those sequences that are just like these gashes where the lightning flashes just pour through when you see them. And he's not doing good, but he doesn't care. So very cool character I had there. Definitely not a player character. He's busted. Like, he would just...
Storm rages?
That's good, Barrack. That's good. Yeah, absolutely terrifying. Would have to be a boss if he was implemented. I think my brother did use him in his campaign, because he ran like a campaign for like 3 years, and he did work some of these characters in. I think he used him as an NPC in a bar for a little while. But Barrack kind of pities Zephaniah. He's like, you're so focused on being good, you're so focused on reaching this enlightenment state, and he's like, but have you ever asked why? Like, why is that better than what I'm doing? I'm doing the same thing in a different direction. And it's like, well, you're killing a lot of people to do it. But Barrack almost kind of look at us having this like southern like preacher style voice, and he just preaches to Zephaniah when he sees him about how like he could be so much better than he is if he simply let his soul storm take over. And then anyways, over here we have Phineas. So Phineas I actually didn't make. He's not one of my characters, but he is a halfling that was a were-rat that Zephaniah was enamored with in the one-shot. He called him my little man. And he ends up dying because, you know, he attacked us. And so like in the fight, he starts attacking, and Zephaniah only realizes after he's started attacking, despite the fact that he's turned into a were-rat like on his back. And when he tries to attack someone, Zephaniah just goes, "That's not very nice of you, little man," and then grabs him by the foot. So turtles have like an unarmed combat bonus because they have claws. Digs his claws in, and in an instant, Phineas is in like a crater on the ground. Just from the sheer force of him pulling him off. He's just like, grabs him, and then boom, on the ground. Like he loosens his grip, and then Zephaniah grabs, because he had action surge at the time as a fighter, he grabs his sword and then just plunges it into Phineas. Phineas is not dead, but he's completely incapacitated. And then Zephaniah does help him, nurse him back to health so that we can interrogate him. And then eventually my family killed him because they were annoyed by the fact that I wanted to keep talking to this little halfling when it was late and everyone was tired. So I was alone in wanting to get the reason for all of this, apparently. Also, I just noticed that my dirt path here needs to go one further. But yeah, so I put Phineas here just specifically because Zephaniah was like enamored with him, and I wanted to be able to have him here so that Zephaniah could have his little man. My brother kind of canonized it that turtles just are enamored with all of the short races, so gnomes, halflings, those sorts of folk. And that they always call them little man. Including, there was like a female gnome that was in his party, like that his players were, and she was not a fan of the fact that the turtle at the bar kept calling her little man and trying to play with her like she was a child. Because Zephaniah just, they don't, like, the turtles just outright do not understand the halfling races, and that they are not children. As we sort of made canon within this. And then this is Quilbin, who is another D&D character who I actually never got to play, but I made. Quilbin, let's see if I can find him here. Quilbin is named Quilbin Bitnoak, and he is a halfling barbarian who is short for a halfling and fat for a halfling. Basically, by BMI, his BMI is high enough that if he was 5'8", I think he would weigh, I think it was like 570 pounds or something. Like, he is basically Wario. But imagine if Wario was 2 foot 4 inches tall. quite literally, one of my cats, if you were to stand them up on their hind legs, would be taller than this guy. And Quilbin is disgusting. The smears of mud you see on his face, that is not mud, that is a self-made mixture that he applies every morning of feces and urine. He smells awful, he does not bathe, he believes that the only way to grow stronger is through food and fighting. And that includes fighting pathogens that might be inside of your many waste products. He also has a scar over his eye because his family raised these huge chickens and he was smaller than them, and one of the roosters like scratched his eye. And the idea was that in their campaign, like the world starts with this a big like magical event where weird magical things happen around the world. Quilbin was asleep during it because he is knocked out in a bar fight and was thrown outside. And did you get it? Nope. Quilbin, come on. But he has this vision, this dream, while he's passed out during this magical event, that the chicken that scratched his eye, the rooster, Pecklespur, is taunting him, telling him, "You will never."
Today was a lot, but it
No.
was
Wait, why is there a bench there? Did I leave a bench there? Whoops. Guess it was a good thing that I was along that way. But yeah, Pecklespur basically like taunts him, and then he wakes up and he's like, "That was real." And basically what happened is during this magical event, Pecklespur became fully sentient, fully sapient. And now Quilbin is on a quest to find and kill that rooster once and for all, because he's too dangerous. Quilbin also styles his hair with that same mixture that he applies to his face, hence the color there. But yeah, he's basically Wario but extra gross, and Scottish in accent. And one of his things is he's got this huge Napoleonic complex. You do not call him short. If you call him short, he will immediately try to kill you. Well, not kill you. Usually his go-to when he's really mad at someone is he will rip off their favorite toe. Never mind how he knows which toe of yours is your favorite. He will rip it off with his bare hands and then shove it so far up your belly button that it will never see the light of day again. Horrendous character. You will see that is a trend with my tabletop characters.
I can't think of
But
anything.
very silly, funny character to me. So moving on from D&D characters, we have the next tabletop, and these are characters that I mostly did get to play. As you will notice, we have entered a new color. Welcome to Board Brains Land. So this is my little piece of Town City, Pennsylvania, as it was called. So we have our 4 player characters. Got Thievin' Jobless, Binky the Bear, Florida Man, and Baron Tito Von Deca. The Baron does not have his bowler hat yet. We're getting there. I just need to get a bowler hat. I also need to get him a bow tie. But the Baron's home, so let's go take a look at the Baron. So the Baron straight up has a Tito's label that I recreated by eye in game while I was on a lunch break at work. So that's the Baron. Oops, I didn't mean to take you outside. I'll put you back. Here you go, bud. You'll notice he's got little like
I'm so glad I get to
black
live
dot
in such a nice
eyes,
room.
and that's a kind of a trend across the characters from this world who are not people. but are like food items, like this here, which is esteemed broccoli, who makes an appearance starting at the end of the second stream and into the third stream, the final one that we did. So this is a character I did get to play. And then the other character, oh, here's Florida Man. So Florida Man is able to really look however I want in this, because Florida Man is an orange juice container, no form, no size specified. So we kind of settle on the fact that Florida Man is an eldritch abomination of a creature that is just a container of orange juice in any form. So this is him basically as a bottle with arms and legs. Florida Man is another weird character. I did not make him. This was made by my good friend to be.
Always nice seeing ya, Baron.
Oh, look at that. Florida Man and the Baron are hanging out. That's good. That's good. They're friends. Thank you for the Tanuki statue. I really needed balls on my stream. So this is Banana Man, who shows up partway through this first stream and lasts into the second stream. Banana Man normally is the size of a banana, but once you peel him, he becomes basically like gorilla-ish in size. Like we kind of played with that scale a bit, and he got a little larger than that, but he hulks out. Like, honestly, to roughly the size of the Hulk. And Banana Man is bizarre, flirtatious. He and Florida Man have a bizarre fight slash, let's call it romance sequence. So Banana Man, all of his friends he flirts with, like he gives them like flirty names. He's a fun one. So he's the other character I got to play from that. So I got Banana Man and Esteemed Broccoli League. I have this like, little park here. This is the nice side of town, because the characters that were player characters lived in the industrial side of town. Oh, Flupso and Benki together again. That's great. That's good.
Sorry.
So Benki was played by my friend Chris, who he basically metagamed the game into Abomination. Or into an Abomination. So I had initially adjusted some things to the rule set, because the first character that I used in a system like this was Flupso. And Flupso was kind of a metagaming character. You should go hang out. You two should hang out. You're together. You're friends. And by friends, I mean... Okay, he's just following Thievin. Thievin's arms are inside of you. Though technically this Thievin's arms are not. This is a Thievin before the game takes place, because he still has arms and legs. But he's still buoyant. But yeah, basically, Binky the Bear metagamed the game to insanity. Everyone knew him, and he was able to utilize that to get advantage in almost every role that he had, where he was a mimetic virus. He was specifically built to break the game, and boy howdy did he. To the point where he even took over the body of Florida Man at one point, and basically every turn that a bee got, he could try to break free, but he always had disadvantage because Binky had advantage on everyone. Oops. So I did change the rules after that. Like, we had a big sit down. We're like, all right, how do we make this not a problem? But yeah, so that's Binky. Thievin is Thievin Jobless, the Identity Steve. He
Where
steals
did I bury that treasure anyway?
people's identities. In the past, he was a spy, which is a little bit of what he's got going on here. But he is an alcoholic, deeply Christian, and buoyant. So, yeah, that's why he floats around. Thievin in game has no arms or legs. Those are inside of Binky the bear. And his blood basically like flows through Binky, and it's terrifying. Binky always looks like this to people, like this cute cartoon bear if you've ever seen him. But Binky is in actuality a bloody mascot suit that is alive somehow, and it's basically like Five Nights at Freddy's level terrifying. But Binky's just a great, cute little friend. Oh, Binky's trying on clothes. That's not your fit, Binky. That's terrifying. Got any other outfits in there, Binky? Oh, yeah. Is this, like, Binky at the club? Hit it, Binky. Hit it, Binky. Alright, get Disco Binky out of here. Next, Binky. Okay, well, that's just a skeleton. That might not be Binky at all. This could just be a skeleton, man. I don't know. That might not be Binky. Good job, Binky. Glad you had fun. But anyways, jumping off from there. So here we have this little seam into another area that's not a defined border. So this is an area for a game idea I had called the Watchers. And the Watchers, we actually saw Lloyd a little bit. It was an idea I had, so it was for one of my classes in college. It was our AI class, and basically what we did is we used our AI implementation. Our final project was utilizing A-star pathfinding in a video game. So like having an enemy that is controlled by A-star pathfinding. And the idea for the game that we had was there were these two characters. One was named Armin, one was named Lloyd. Armin had arms and Lloyd had legs. They both technically had both, but they were like bound. Like Lloyd was wrapped such that his arms were stuck against his body and his legs were all that was free. And Armin had his legs bound, but his arms were free. So, Lloyd would be running around, and that was the thing is, Lloyd would always be moving at a relatively fast pace, and you could only jump. That was the only thing you could do with him was jump or switch directions, and he would like flip and go woo, woo, and just zip around. Armin could only move while jumping, so he had to hop everywhere. But Armin had an attack. He could punch. He could punch, and he could jump higher than Lloyd could jump. And the idea was that you would have to kind of dodge around enemies and kill enemies and stuff, and there'd be enemies with A-star pathfinding, and your goal was to collect the seeds of evil, which are what the Watchers are tasked with watching. They're basically these tiny creatures that would just watch over these seeds, and that if the seeds were to germ, or were to germinate, they could hypothetically grow into these like horrible monstrosities, and that were the results of what were called the germs of evil. So Armin and Lloyd actually have a pet. So let's go to Armin because we saw Lloyd. Oh, he's sitting with his germ right now. So that's the germ of evil. Basically, normally it's just a seed, and then it would open up and the little like leaves would flap on its head, and it would fly around, and it would make this like sound. Deeply unsettling, and the screen would have like this like border, and it would be terrifying. You'd be like, "Oh crap, bad things happening." I haven't given them seeds of evil. I do want to give them seeds. But yeah, so they're not 100% accurate. Technically, Lloyd is supposed to have a horn that goes this way on his head, so like points to the right, and then Armin has one that points to the left. I had to settle for the hair that points up in the middle, because they don't have like one that just goes like one direction like that I could then mirror. But Armin and Lloyd, they're just goofy little guys, and they're tiny, so I just have like a bunch of like tall weeds and some little flowers and stuff. Some rocks. But yeah, that's I think, did I go through every area? Nice, I did. Look at that. So that is my island in Tomodachi life, living the dream as it stands. You wanna go help him?
What's the...
Yep. Okay, he's gonna go help.
Well...
He may be the bad guy, but he's helping.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and trust
I shouldn't skip past this dialogue because like I've seen it, but I don't know that everyone else has. So
You're...
Don't worry about it.
I've seen this style of dialogue. There's a few different ones that come up. Okay, that's great. He vibes with the evil emperor. Zephaniah, go introduce yourself to Dormio.
Dormio? Zephaniah? Good evening? Obla? Benitodubla?
That's good. Oh, we made him laugh.
You're a shovel doom-dam? Ratinkle? Dormio? You stumbled through Jambo? You cracked me up? Zephaniah?
Oh, that's good. Oh. Look at that. They had a cute little interaction there. Rizio is like barely awake. You know what? Let's introduce Twig and Rizio right now.
Hi, I'm Professor Twig. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Professor Twig. I'm Rizio.
Look at that.
Rabbit classic rock. Lana Lucy, I think. When classic rock Medusa. Bergen, I think.
That's good. That's good. You know what? They should. This is how Professor Twig should feel.
I thought you'd be Professor Twig.
Oh, that's so cute. They're so happy. Good. Twig and Rizio should be friends. Let's go see what Thievens dreaming about. I'm sure it's some weird stuff. Oh, it's the alien dream again. Okay, that's another UFO. I've gotten so many alien dreams. It's like I already gave my UFO that I got from the first one. Oh, they're taking all the toilet paper away. Oh my god, is it flooding on this alien planet? I did take one of the UFOs that I got because it's like a pet. I gave that to Ixothorgu. Oh, I got another one.
Same dream every night.
Really? The aliens abducting all of the toilet paper in the land?
Oh. What's up?
I'll give you cake.
Yeah.
You better like it. Okay. I can accept that. What's the Baron up to?
Good seeing you.
Let's get you a little spaghetti.
Yum.
So, Baron Tito Von de Ka was played by my friend Thaddeus. What a wild character this was. So I didn't really go into his details too much, even though I went into the other ones. So the Baron was the Baron of Spirits, and he was able to locomote and live through sheer will of spirit alone. He was literally a bottle of Tito's vodka with a handlebar mustache, a bow tie down at the bottom of the neck, a pair of gold-rimmed glasses, like sunglasses, and if you drank him, his babies were inside you, and the babies shared his consciousness. Very strange character. Let's introduce these two.
Pardon me, could I have a moment? My name is Bone Tear Tree.
You're Bone or Tear Tree. I'm Baron Tito Vondica.
How about trading a coin?
Oh, that's cute.
And that's a twin doodle at Sepulchre.
It's a nice conversation for them to have. Let's go dump some goodwill into the wishing fountain. What? You meowing at me. You want out. You want out. Come on out, buddy. Alright. Let's grab the Sugar Rush set. Just grabbing a random set, basically. I'm at the point where I've gotten most of the stuff that I want, and now I'm just grabbing random things. Oh, new travel ticket. New travel ticket. That's another thing I can get. Hello, Camilla.
We interrupt to bring you some breaking news. We've just received some shocking news. Against all scientists' warnings, the outer space tour is now available via travel tickets at the Wishing Fountain. It's reported that this is the final travel destination that will become available.
Oh no, it's my last one!
Trepidation in equal measure, with comments like, "The mysteries of the cosmos will finally
Oh no, that's the last bonus wish I get.
It sounds like a wish is available at the Wishing Fountain now, so someone can leave for this once-in-a-lifetime tour right away. This has become the talk of the town as residents wonder who among us will be the first.
He's been radioactive. He had thyroid issues. He had hyperthyroidism and he had to get it treated.
And you're up to date.
So he's lightly radioactive and has been for a couple weeks now. Let's do a quick build. Let's get the outdoor shower. But we got it treated. They use an iodine that's radioactive and gets taken up by the thyroid. So he's been radioactive for a couple weeks now, but he is at the point when he does not have to be concerned about that. He's been sad because he was not allowed to sleep with us for 2 weeks, and he loves to sleep behind our heads. The only spot for he. You guys scoot your legs up. Can't just melt. Oh, it's an interesting duo to have on the seesaw. Oh! I don't think Esteemed Broccoli has much information on that, but okay. I guess I could show off some of the insides of a few of the houses. And not all of them are set up really nice, but I can show you this one. Actually, I think there is a way I could just under houses, go here, go here.
The Catter Trainer.
And I have to.
The Catter Trainer. They'll be known as the Keter Trainer. They'll be known as the Gator Trainer.
Okay. So let's go inside. So their rooms aren't set up at all, but this is their main living space. It's nice. It's cute. It's well furnished. They got these windows. A lot of room for activities. Oh, Professor Twig's visiting. Albert and Allison are marked as relatives because they're the same person. Like literally, I think they have the exact same personality. They have the same, like, as they've gotten like upgrades for leveling up their happiness. It's been the same for both of them at all times. So it's been nice. No? Rival Byron is here to hang out. What are you guys doing? Working out. Alright. Nice. I'll leave y'all to it. All of the houses up here. So Binky's is the most interesting. His illusion affects the room that he's in. The Stevens. Oh, I didn't do the Barons yet? Oh my god, I need to go shop right now. Okay, I need to buy...
Welcome.
So the way there's a setup is I take a dilapidated set.
Thank you very much.
I take the Chaos Canvas set
Thank you very much.
for the cement floor.
Please come again.
And then I use the dilapidated set for the full interior. And then I change the flooring to the Chaos Canvas set. Because they're living in like warehouses. Oh yeah, he loves it. Let's go. The Baron loves his new digs.
This is exactly the kind of room I wanted to live in. Thank you.
You're welcome, Baron. And Florida Man's is the exact same.
Huh?
What you got going on, Florida Man? You're
Hey,
thinking about something.
I'd like some clothes that better suit me. No pun intended.
Alright, let's go get you something. I could get you better shoes. Right now he's just in the like basic default ones. Oh, I've got the orange high tops already. I could give him orange high tops. You better like this. They're cute. Yay! Okay. That's good. But I can also show... Let me show off all the different things I've made. So, this is the first one I made. This is kind of a proof of concept. I used the... So, my friend Keith, who goes by NPO on a lot of things here, you probably saw him on Board Brains and stuff. He was there for some of my Metopia streams. Just super genius guy. Like, he's the inspiration for the Byron rival. and Byron is basically like the most intelligent of the characters. Like the idea is that the Professor Twig is a new professor. He's like in his early 30s. He's not good at this yet. He keeps forgetting important details. He's supposed to do like a tutorial thing, and it ends up having to be Byron who does it. The other rival, Camilla, is just a weeb and not the brightest. Like, a lot of the characters aren't the brightest. It's kind of like the joke is that there's only one person who's intelligent about it at all, and that's Byron. He made, off of screenshots I provided, a beautiful translation tool. It's not 100% accurate, but it is nearly 100% accurate. Some colors are off by maybe like 1% on the hue chart, which is pretty good. And he made like a conversion tool for me that I was able to use the formulas from to make a conversion Excel spreadsheet where I can stick in the hex codes and it will spit out how many inputs I need to make from the right or from the left for each of the like hue bar, saturation in the box, and then value in the box. And this is a like really weird color space. The color model they're using is perceptual in how it handles value, it is perceptual in how it handles saturation, and it is smoothed on its hue. So this is a really weird system, which is why I needed help making this tool. And he made me this tool. This was my test case that I ran because it's a much simpler sprite and flawless, beautiful. There's some areas where it is slightly off on the hue usually, but it's so minimal, and it really doesn't bother me in the slightest. Like this is more accurate than I would get in like Animal Crossing. So this was not made using that. This was actually not made using that. I made it by eye. I eyeballed it. This was made using his system. This was made using his system. Both beautiful, perfect. Let me show you this one though. This one. So I use the text tool, and you can like pick what font you want. So I picked the serif font and I picked it italicized, and then I stretched this out vertically so that it, when you put it on this squished body of the Baron, it would look pretty good. I made that on a lunch break at work, like I said. Very fun. Yeah, Albert and Allison's hats, those are both directly, I took the color palettes that we had in their artwork, and then I compared it against like his tool and made these. It was beautiful. So this is where I have a lot of things. These are the pets. So here's Tethamore controlling Professor Erica Pistis. Its sound is it saying "you will be bound." It does not sound like it. And that's awesome. That's so cool. Then we've got Burlad.
Burlad.
Oh, whoops. That's not what I want to do. That full flop. Full flop. It's awesome that you get to make these. And like, yeah, you can see like his hues slightly skewed because he's kind of in that zone where the smoothing occurs. So I think technically his burlap body should be a little yellower and his arms should be a little oranger. It's all so close that it's not a problem. Here we have Rastal. So this is Rastal's sound. That's awesome, isn't it? I love that. This was a fun one to translate into this. We got Flagellum. Flagellum is glowing, which is why it looks extra desaturated. If I go over here, you can see how it looks raw without the glow. Again, this is another one where it's like slightly off on the hues because it's kind of in those like smoothed border zones, but I don't care. I think it looks great. I think it looks awesome. And this is what it says. Awesome. I love that. This is Marshall's. This is Colamy. Oh, I forgot to mention. Nathaniel's. Balara's. Let's go to Colamy. It's nighttime, so it's glowing. That's so cool that you get to make these sounds yourself. And if I go to edit, you can see how it actually looks. So this is raw. That you can look at it and be like, yeah, that's Colamy. Or Colamy. Really happy with how that one came out. Got Google. We saw that one earlier. See how it sounds? I wanted it to kind of sound like laughter, but it's also saying like reap, like reapy, like reap. But then also R.I.P. And then here's the Germ of Evil. Which basically in game it would kind of sound like this. If one was out. I've not made any houses. Here's the Pokeball I made. I can show you. This is the texture. So you can see like why it's got this like wibbly wobbliness to it, and that's because you're taking a circular texture and you're UV mapping it onto a circle. Well, technically you're taking a square texture and you're UV mapping it onto a circle, but like you just can't. You can't get it perfect. It's never going to be perfect. There's going to be these little spots that don't quite look smooth or how they should, and that's just kind of the nature of your working in, you know, textures that are being applied to something. Fun fact, that I actually also used the color tool because I used it to get the shade of red that they use. Very happy with that. And then over here we have all my seams that I've made. So default seam, my Monster Tamer RTS seam, the Gator seam, my Bird Brain seam, and the old DurchBurch seam. And then here's the lava and the hot lava. Yeah, I've been having a blast. I have played well over 30 hours of this game. I think by now I have to be close to 40. Let's find out. 45. We're at 45 hours. This game came out last Thursday. It's almost been 1 week. I have a full-time job, and I'm at almost 45 hours. You can see that I've been no-lifing it at this game because I adore it so much. This is so fun. It's all the stuff that I was doing in Animal Crossing, but to such a more extreme direction. Because it's like I can straight up put the fake mon and put the monsters I come up with into the game as pets, and they will show up as their full sprite and hop around and make their noises, and it's so cool. Like, this game's awesome. And, you know, not everyone is going to have an island of effectively original characters. You know, I have well over 30. I think I'm at 37 now. Now that I added the Nullus and Crudelis. So it's like my island is filling up. There's room for 70 characters. I probably have a few more that I'm going to add over time. But kind of at the point that I'm at now is making their customization, making them their clothing, making them, you know, the things they need to like be the characters that they are. And like if I go over to this palette house workshop and I go to like the new creation, so you can see I haven't made a lot of clothing and I have the option to make hats. I can make pants. Oh my god. I just realized I can make pants. I was just like, can't make pants. Nope, I can. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
The Baron's tights.
Let's go. Just because the Baron does not have pants that, oh, oops. I didn't actually buy it. The Baron does not have pants that, suit him perfectly. Like, they're nice pants, but they're not, like, they don't kind of hide the fact that he's wearing them. Which is what I would rather he have. Alright, Baron, where are ya? See Florida man. I found him.
Good seeing you.
The Baron likes them. Nice. But what I wanted to look at was the headwear options. So yeah, there's general like cap style headwear, like beanie style headwear. There's baseball cap style, and there's top hat style. So basically the same options you have in Animal Crossing, except this one is rounder on the headwear option than, you know, how it is in Animal Crossing, where you have like it goes up into a point. You have a higher resolution base for most of these. I don't know, because it's on a 256 by 256 image, and I don't know if it actually is higher resolution than the Animal Crossing ones by any major degree, but it is a little higher. So you do have a decent amount of room to make things work. This is where you can make just like objects. So these upright boards are like flat sprites. These flat boards. Yeah, oh, paving stones, oh, crosswalks, like things like that. Oh, that makes sense. So that's how you can layer things. I guess hypothetically, I could have made my seams objects and then layered them on top of the landscaping. But I kind of like the way I chose to do it in the end, because initially what I was going to do is I was going to have the seams be like these thin lines that would interconnect, but it would mean that I would have had to make multiple versions of seams to cover the different angling scenarios. And I think it just would have been a lot more work for me that would have been less fun. And also would have been less visually interesting than what I think I ended up with. Because these weird, like, pixelated chunks with these, like, you know, pixel textures inside, I think have a very, like, strong look. And I think it looks pretty cool to me. Especially, like, when you do this, like, big zoom out. It looks awesome. And you can see that texture from up here. And I think there's something really cool about that, like kind of embracing the blockiness instead of making little strips that I can put over things. Yeah, that's my island. I could probably utilize the flat boards on the bottom to make basically to make objects that don't or that work like the lava to kind of cover up the glowing spots that shouldn't be as glowy or something, like to make the transition smoother. But again, I don't mind it, so I think I'm gonna stick with embracing the glowiness, but I might actually utilize some of that to make interesting textures and stuff for the ground. That's neat. But yeah, I have been having a blast. I sincerely hope this game gets like free updates down the line, kind of how Animal Crossing has. And I think my island is super cool. I have, technically, if I have another project that I come up with that I want to heavily utilize, I have this whole reach in the top right corner. I have this whole reach in the bottom left, or sorry, in the bottom right corner as well. So both the right hand corners have space right now. I could also use that area that's straight north of everything. That could have something going on. Like I have plenty of options, but for now I really like how kind of like naturalistically shaped my island is, because I wanted it to not feel like, oh, this is a square, this is a rectangle. Like, you know, I didn't want it to feel like that, because obviously the space that you have to make your island is a rectangle. And I feel like a lot of the island designs I've seen online, people really try to maximize the space that they can use, and so they end up making these very rectangular islands. And I kind of want mine to be this more natural, less rectangular shape. So I'm pretty happy with how mine's turned out because of that. But no, this game is beautiful and fun, and I highly recommend. If you like making characters, or if you like funny scenarios, or maybe you just really like a lot of shows or games and you want to use characters from those, you can. If you like making art, this game is full of opportunities to do that. I did the math. You can make 900 custom creations at the Palette House. 900. You can have up to 100 house exteriors, up to 100 house interiors. Notably, 100 house exteriors. You cannot have 100 houses. There's only space for 70 Miis. You can have more types of houses than you have Miis. You can make up to 100 objects to place around scenes, like how I did the Pokeballs. You can make up to 100 landscaping tiles. You can make up to 100 treasures, so pets, books, music albums, games, movies, and shows. Like, you can make 100 of those as one group. You can make 100 clothing items. Or actually, it might be more than 100 clothing items. What was the clothing item? I think the clothing item count is actually higher. One of them's like 300. Let me just go here and show you. Like, if I go to new creation, yeah, 100 food items, 300 clothing items, 100 treasures, 100 landscaping, 100 objects, 100 interiors, and 100 exteriors. There is so much that you can do in this game, fully custom. I am not a great artist. I don't have like a super steady hand. I've been using pens that have like the little rubber tip stylus things, which are not the most precise things. I should probably at some point get like actual precision styluses for this. But I've been using those. I've been using the smoothing tool. I've been using the outlining tool. And that's allowed me to make characters with like, you know, this design and stuff. Like, I've been specifically not trying to make characters who are wildly not me-like. I want them to feel like me's. I did the same thing with Miitopia. Like, there's slight upgrades. Like, you'll notice like a lot of mine have eye highlights, because I think that those give a little extra life to the characters. I just noticed Kobin does not have eye highlights. Kobin probably should.
Huh. Hey, good evening.
Let's pop into him real quick. I can't believe I forgot your eye highlight, bud. So I usually like do it a little small, and then just kind of put it there. Look at that! He's so much more lively now. Some of the characters outright don't have them. Thievin uses like the ring highlight. Let's see if I can help him.
That's the spot? Oh yeah, right there.
Got it. But they have like a bunch of different like new eyebrows and eye types and mouth types. You can do more to customize them. So it's like the tools you have for like a normal me in this game are just so wildly expanded upon. And I think that's just so awesome. Like you can really do so much. You can have hair where you define the bangs on the back of the hair like Marshall's. I chose the back of the hair that has man bun, or that has like this bun and these curls, or like wavies, and then I chose like this wavy draped hair in the front. Flupso uses these like kind of swooshy bangs and these like kind of blobby, wispy, wiggly tendrils of hair that go down. Esteemed Broccoli uses a new afro style. Because some of these characters are just using hairstyles, they're not like custom. Like the flat top that the Baron has, that's just a hairstyle option. The hair that DurchBurch has, that's just a hairstyle option. I'm not using the custom one. So is the hair that we're rocking here with Barrick. That's just a hairstyle option. I know you just want to put an object down. Binky, go make someone happy. But yeah, you can do so much in this game. Binky's eyes are entirely done within the eye options. So what I did is I took the eyes that have like the kind of center upward facing pupils, and then and like the white circle, and then they have like an edge on the one side. I made an edge on the other side using an eye fold option. Like there's like little eye bag, eye fold, eye wrinkle options. I put that down and curved it down, and then I took the other one, I flipped it upside down and put it up against his snout, and then I took the eye sparkle and put that over his pupils, and then I gave him eyeshadow that was black to kind of solidify that outline. I was like, that's all completely within the eye editing options.
Esteemed broccoli. You look like shit. Hi, Flopso.
So, you'll leave a jar
Oh my
for the
god,
candy.
Flopso. That's how he just introduces himself to people. That's not what he says. He just walks up and he's like, "You look like shit, dude." Also, he's not stoned. Like, he has a glow behind his eyes because, like, I wanted it so that when he does the happy eyes, like, it's just this, like, red glow. It's terrifying. But he's got, like, that little under eye bag option. I think his eyes just came with that. His eyes use the eyeshadow, and then I traced like the around it with the
I
kind of
used my shirt as a handkerchief.
electrical stuff that he's got going on his face. He also has an eye bag thing going on. And I gave him like this like dark gray eyeshadow that I kind of like resized and replaced to fit within his eyebrows. Yeah, it's just like there's so much ability to do so many things in this game. It is genuinely just like endless room for creativity, and I think there's still a lot of people who are like surprised by or upset by the fact that you can't share the Miis that you've made and stuff like that online. But I genuinely think having no filters was 1000% the way to go. The fact that I can make it so that my characters can talk about topics that they would talk about. Like Banana Man is very flirtatious and is very open about his sexuality. Florida Man is a sex addict. They can talk about sex. They're able to. They can say those words. They can swear. Flopso can walk up to someone like, "You look like shit, dude." Like, he could end a sentence with like, "Yeah, so I was walking in the park. Have you considered dying?" Like, he can say the horrible things he's always been meant to say. And I think that's such a fun element of this game. Thievin, I can show you his lingo.
Good seeing you.
When he's sad, he says, "I need a drink." When he's angry, he says, "I need a fucking drink." When he's happy, he thanks the Lord. I can make these characters accurate to who they are. And that is so much more worth it to me than the ability for people to share characters online. I'm sorry. And I personally, I made all of these characters myself for the most part. Like, I made these Miis myself in pretty much every case. I in some cases consulted. I consulted with my friend Mike, who was Thievin for Board Brains. When I made Thievin, I like was referencing the character sheet as I made Baron Tito Von Ka. I consulted with my brother as I was putting Phineas together. So, like, you know, yeah, my characters are mostly original or are ones where I was able to discuss with someone, like, "Hey, what do you think of this? Is this within this character's character?" You know, like, I was able to consult and do that, but, like, the characters for the most part, like, they're just here.
Something on your...
And I can do whatever and make them whoever I want them to be. And I love that about this game. I think the sheer unbridled creativity of it is what makes this game special. In name of it in Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, like the new Yoshi game that's coming out. That game is also a very creative game. You get to name the enemies, you get to name things about the world, and it's like it's very clear like this is a game for like young children, but it's a game so focused on creativity. And I love that Nintendo has had so many games recently that are just like, yeah, here's creativity of the game, here's the kingdom. Yeah, put together your contraption. Solve the puzzles your own way. Yes, a lot of people use that to solve the puzzles in a way they didn't enjoy, but they gave them that freedom to solve it however they wanted to.
Good evening.
You know what I'm wondering? I wonder if his skin color is slightly different from True White. It could just be that that's how it displays, but I want to check and just be safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here and I'm going to pick the face color option. And we're just going to save it like that. Just in case it's slightly different. It didn't really change anything. But...
Got a sec. I wanna chat.
Okay, sure. What you want to talk about, Credalis?
I'm curious about what makes the real me, if there is a real me, happy. If we met up in your world, what would you give me as a gift?
Ooh. Is this what I called them? I have a thing breaking out what I had named for these things. Story outline. Yes. A pure gemote. And that's capital P, capital G. What am I doing? Pure gemote.
Pure demo. Pure demo. Pure demo.
I think he's pronouncing it correctly.
Huh. I was just thinking how I'd like a pure demo.
I don't know if he's saying gemote or if he's saying gemote. Okay, wait, let me check. If I go to the island info, there's an island lingo option.
Pure demote. Pure demote.
Okay, it is saying gemote. So you announce it pure. Gemote.
Pure gemote. Pure gemote.
Beautiful. Oh, let's take a look at my resident personalities. Do I have everyone? I have everything but Cheerleader and Dynamo now. I'm almost there. Yeah, you can see there's a few that I kind of trend towards. I've not had a Dynamo. Yeah, they've got the Merrymakers, the Go-Getters, Charmers, Daydreamers. I think this is a pretty fitting set. A buddy. He's a buddy. No cheerleader yet. I have a sweetie. I have a number of ambitious mavericks, rogues, visionaries, and achievers. I have a thinker. I have an observer. I have perfectionists. I have strategists. Like, I've got a lot of these. The average age of a character is 36.3 years old. Huh. Oh, my land used. About half. I can only use up to 74 types of objects. I'm at 32. That's crazy. Yeah, and you can see my resident count. It definitely skews male. I've been trying to balance it as much as possible. Unfortunately, I do have a lot of characters that I think are funny. And I tend to make my funny characters male because I would rather make fun of a guy. So there are a lot of male characters as a result. But I do intend to add more female characters over time, especially like in this corner. I have a little space to expand into as I add new characters from my Monster Tamer RTS concept, and some of those are going to be female. One of those is canonically non-binary. Assigned female at birth. But I don't know much else about that character, so I can't really put them in yet. But no, I've been loving this. I think this game is awesome. It's like I 1000% highly recommend people check it out. It's a Switch 1 game, so if you have a Switch 1, you can play it there. If you don't have a Switch at all and you don't have the money to get one, you can emulate. Though I think this experience is best on hardware. I think that's generally the case most of the time with most things. You know, if you can do it on hardware, I highly recommend it. Especially because like I think this game is awesome, and I think you should support it financially. Show Nintendo that this game is awesome, and more than just viral Twitter posts. This game has exploded. I'm hoping that this game is like wildly successful. There's so many posts, and I'm hoping that that is an indication that this game is like their next Animal Crossing-ish. Not that it could ever meet Animal Crossing meeting COVID. That was an insane combo that made Nintendo a lot of money. But I adore this game. I think it is so fun. I have had a blast making these characters.
I could have fun with this.
What a loser. Wait, Zephaniah has a sword too. If I drop Zephaniah, will he fight? Sarah. I saw him. There he is. They're just
I
gonna
am
introduce
glad
each
you
other.
called on me, Zephaniah. You may address me as DurchBurch. Rubber ducky Pankatoli, Resin rubber ducky Morna, Sparkle, rubber ducky Ritzy, rubber ducky Paw.
Rubber ducky indeed, dude.
Hey, Rumlock,
Okay, they're not gonna fight.
Pure Jimbo, what marble plummy turtle brain, computer.
They're talking about fighting. Good enough. Excuse me, Flop, so did you just walk across the lava?
I feel like I heard Homunculine's voice just now.
I have the lava set to like, oh, you probably shouldn't walk on it. Bro's just like, yeah, I'll stand on the lava a little. Wild. Wild. Wild behavior. But no, I love this. This has been awesome. I've been fully consumed by it. And I highly, highly recommend this game to just anyone in the world. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up the stream by just sitting inside the Ferris wheel. There we go. Now we can see the whole screen as we're gonna go up and get a good view of the island. It's so cool. I love this game. I was like, would it be neat if I could have the ability to, like, you know, be in a neighborhood of friends' islands online or something? Sure. Sure. However, this game, you can just do so much. And I really don't care. There's no way to actually like share things online. I think that there's so much charm in the ways people have been sharing details about this game and the ways people have been sharing their screenshots, you know, these like blurry photos with their phone. You can just take a screenshot, connect it to your computer through USB and copy the photos over. The easiest option if you have a PC. But no, I adore this game so much. That's awesome. I've been having a blast. I rambled about it for 2 hours here. I toured you around my island for a little over an hour. Introducing to all of the 30 plus characters in the process. So I think that's pretty good. Check this game out. Oh, I'm out. That was my full ride. Here, I guess you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end on the shot of the whole island. Well, I'll end with this version of it, then not from above, but from just like an angle there. Like, I made all that over the course of a few days. And when I first started, it was this little rectangle that you can literally, like, see where the edges were for the most part. I think it was... basically... around where the Ferris wheel is was about the northernmost extent. kind of where the beach on the southern shore is. Like, it was basically the southernmost extent. The westernmost was that little flat edge, basically, and the easternmost was about where the Phototomo is initially. And I've expanded out these huge chunks for new houses. God. This game's awesome. This game's so awesome. Please play it. But that's all from me for tonight, so thank you so much if you joined me live or after the fact. Either way is cool with me as long as you had some fun. I said I'm going to go do human things as humans do, and you probably should too. So thank you so much. Goodbye. My voice needs a rest, and pretty soon my body will too. So goodbye. Reminder, probably no streams at all next week, to be fair. We're finishing up packing and doing our move over the course of the next week, and so we'll be moved in and stable when I come back. So, but I just wanted to share this before disappearing for a little while longer, because I love this. This is so cool. Yeah, that's all from me. Goodbye.